concept. You have a great concept. You guys are doing it, man. And it's an honor for me to just be, a small rock, man, in your mountain. I'm going to pop a top in your honor.
Mr. Doc Walker blessed us with his presence and knowledge.
We want to welcome in our next special guest, Haley Skarupa. She's a three-time world champion in women's ice hockey and most recently won Olympic gold with Team USA.
The Cap Stadium Series is definitely my favorite, obviously. I'm a huge Caps fan, I always have been, and to be there at that game with my teammates and for us to bring, our gold medals to there and share it with everyone in this area was really, really special for me, and just the support and it's been tremendous from everyone in this area, and you could feel that there at that game.
Welcome to Sports on the Hill podcast. Hashtag DC Sports Without the Politics with Carol and Robbie on True Radio Net.
And welcome to episode 380 of Sports on the Hill podcast. I am joined by DC's People's Champ and by Dan, the Sith Lord himself as well. And we've got a super fun and exciting show for 380. We are back. It's the fall season premiere. Thanks to everybody for tuning in early on the live streams. We got Tina joining us live over on Twitch. We got Troy also hanging out over on Facebook. You can catch us live on YouTube or Kick as well. And thank you, Tina, for the resub. We got. She's one of our first ones, and she's checking out the brand new Donkey Kong emote. And crazy move right there. Oh, Jalen Hurts. We're watching the Cowboys and the Eagles right now, but Hurts is putting the Hurts on Dallas right now. And he just walked into a first and goal situation. 8:08 left here in the first half. The Eagles right now are down 14-7. And thank you, Champ, for your 44 months in a row as well. So I appreciate all of the love from both you guys and the Gigantify Tina French emote as well. And we got Sith Command right there. Thank you, Champ. You can definitely go check out the basement there on Spotify with his command. And then Champ's own podcast where they have got both Champ and Sith on it over on the True No Spots Pod. As part of the No Spots podcast, which you can see the graphic that appears. And exciting news, Champ and I are going to be working next week on overhauling the podcast and doing all sorts of new graphics. And Champ, I'm going to even add some cool visual effects that can happen, and you can use channel points and all sorts of fun stuff. So we're going to make it interactive, fun. We're going to do a lot of cool new stuff, and I'm excited for the No Spots 2.0, which is coming soon to a podcast near you.
It'll be, and what's funny is that we're actually doing 299 this weekend. So episode 300 will be when the overhaul will be revealed. So that's talk about timing.
Yes.
Talk about perfect fucking timing that on our 300th episode is when we'll have a complete overhaul of the streaming side of things and everything, as Jalen Hurts just ran it in for his second touchdown of the game to tie it up. Well, they're getting ready to tie it up, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they can't stop him. He is just he's looking quick today. I ran for the pylon and got in there. 6:46 left here in the first half. It's weird to have the two teams we hate the most be the team that what we're watching while we're talking about a new season. But we'll see here with the extra point. Luckily, the extra point here is a lot easier than it is in the new Madden game, Champ. I still have yet to figure out how to consistently get extra points on the Switch. It is janky as all hell.
That's why I play Superstar. I don't have to kick nothing. I don't have to play no defense. All I gotta do is go out there, pick a play, and throw the football or hand it off.
That's actually really smart. Maybe I should play that mode more. Liz and I, this is kind of our nightly thing. It's a throwback to 13 years ago when we started dating. We used to play Madden on the PS3, right? And so it's kind of cool that it's back to a Nintendo system. For people that don't know, I'm a huge Nintendo Nintendo fan. I have every single Nintendo system that's ever been created right over here, and we have the Switch too. And it's been fun. Like it's a little janky. It's definitely not as good as it is on Xbox and other stuff, but it's just fun to finally get Madden back. It's been 13 years, Seth, since Madden's been on a Nintendo system. So yeah, it was last on the Wii U. With a janky touchscreen thing that was terrible. I'm happy, even if it's not quite as good a graphics, there's no cross-play, but the fact that Liz and I can sit here and play the game again is fun. My son keeps on watching. He's like, they look so real. They look so real. Like, because, he hasn't seen Madden back in the 64 era and what it used to look like. But Seth, how have you been?
I've been doing all right. As people know, they've listened to episode 290, they have no spots. I saw the reboot of The Toxic Avenger, and I went in with measured expectations because I'm a big fan of the original from 84. I should go on TikTok tomorrow as well as doing Dexter Resurrection because the fan season from that is tomorrow morning on Paramount Plus Premium. And I should do a Toxic Avenger ranking, but what I did was I rewatched the sequels, and I'm just like, oh my God, only one of these sequels is actually anything remarkably good. The other two are just absolute shit.
Yeah, interesting. I've never seen any of them actually, so that's an interesting shout.
With the reboot, it's unrated, and I give it a 3.75 out of 5. I thought it was really well done. As a fan of the original, I will tell you, this goes about as far as you could go with the original, except maybe a little bit further with the unrated rating and all. But the flip side of the coin is if people are easily offended, this is not a movie for you because it pushes every single button you could think of on both sides to offend. And as far as episode 300 is concerned, Champ and I will have a little talk as to when that's going to be, because I know that next Friday night, he and Hector are going to be doing live reactions to Worlds Collide next Friday night.
Yeah. I don't know. But stay tuned because I'm sure Champ will let people know which night they decide to air the big 300. That'll be exciting. I can't believe you guys are at to 300 already. It's been cool to watch. Yeah, the growth over. Is it 6 or 7 seasons now?
This is season 7.
Yeah, 7. Wow, it goes so fast. I was thinking, I wanted to do something this summer to celebrate 10 seasons of this show, and I still think in the upcoming weeks I am going to do a pop-up show and do make merch, District of Champions Reborn, celebrate since we now have a new champion that we didn't have in the old jersey, and add them into the fold, so to speak. So stay tuned to that because I do want to start celebrating season 10, and as we're now starting our 20 episode countdown to episode 400, which is crazy to think about. Yeah, it's been such a fun ride, and welcome back in, Tina. And also, I thought it was funny, right as you were talking about the Toxic Avenger, Sith, a toxic Pokemon appeared in our Twitch chat, Toxapex. So I thought that was kind of very fitting. And thank you so much, Tina. And yeah, so at the Troy asked, so will I go over game by game for the Commanders? I am. Towards the end of this podcast, I am going to pull up the entire schedule, and I've already had all of my team input their data in, and I'm going to make my picks live on air. I'm going to probably err on the sophomore slump side, I was really wrong last year, and I was never so happy to be so wrong, and so I'd be okay being wrong 2 years in a row. We shall see how that all goes. But I'm going to get Champ and Sith's thoughts on the preseason first, and then going into the season, and then I'll pull up the schedule and go through some of that. But I'm going to start off with you, Sith. What were some of your thoughts on the preseason for the Commanders and what you've seen so far?
Thankfully, no major severe injuries that are going to hamper us down the road for the season itself. Thankfully, We got Scary Terry locked in for the next 3 years. Thank you, God, because we really needed him at wide receiver. Overall, though, I don't mind going 0-3. As champ and I both will agree, I would rather go 0-3 and kill it in the regular season than go 3-0 preseason than shit the bed in the regular season.
Yeah, I kind of was talking privately with Champ and saying some of the same sort of things, and I agree. I'll be honest. I didn't put a whole lot of stock into the preseason in the sense that I didn't think we were running a lot of the same teams that you'll see in the regular season. You know, Scary Terry was out for a lot of it, and I think that they're trying to keep under wraps a little bit what we're going to do. You don't want to give the Giants too much information, and you want to surprise some people. Champ, what were some of your takeaways from preseason?
Yeah, I'm of the same mindset of, preseason doesn't have a lot of bearing, except it gives you an indication of what your depth's going to look like in the regular season. God forbid someone like Terry or Debo or Jaden or Eckler goes down for a significant amount of time. You got to wonder who's going to be behind them that's going to be able to produce at the same level. And what I saw from this preseason is we don't have a lot of very good depth, because a lot of these preseason games were 2s, 3s, and 4s playing. One's barely played. They played one series in preseason game number 2, and they managed to score in 4 plays. So that already tells you that your ones are looking really, really good if they were able to score 4 plays in one drive, and that was it. There was not a lot of production, so I'm very worried about the depth and if they can produce if one of our ones goes down for a significant amount of time. But outside of that, yeah, the preseason is this, that, working your way and figuring out who's going to be there, who's going to be on the team, everything like that. The regular season's where it's at. You already know who your starters are. You already know who your backups are. You know what roles are going to play. So it's time to get after it at this point.
Yeah. I just want to get some of your guys' thoughts on this live game real quickly. Sith, I mean, Philly had one of the best defenses in the league last year. They had a lot of turnover in this offseason. So far, Dallas has already put up 14 points pretty quickly on them. What are some of your early takeaways on this reconstructed defense?
Divisional games are always tough, no matter what. The opposing offenses wants to Dallas's offense. They want to show off the Eagles' defense and try to say, "Hey, they were the best defense last year," but we see some holes in them that we want to take care of. And the same thing goes with Philly's offense. They want to show the holes of Swiss cheese in front of Dallas's defense as well. We'll be doing the same thing with the Giants come Sunday. Um, Dallas is looking okay, actually really good so far in the first half. Philly, again, it's game one. It's not a marathon. It's a long sprint. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is like a 17, 18-week season where anything can happen. But so far, this has been a good game. I think now that you've gotten most of the big, huge, crazy penalties, now it's just getting back to basics of false starts, offsides, stuff like, pass interference, stuff like that. It not, getting tossed because you're taking off somebody's helmet or spitting on somebody. So overall, it's been a good game so far.
Yeah, it's interesting. You see some of the escapability of both of their quarterbacks so far in this. That Dak was just dead to rights by a couple of Eagles defensive players, and he made them both miss and turned what should have been a pretty significant loss into a small gain. And then the running back sort of does a sweep play to get it within 2 or 3 yards here to make it third and manageable as we head here. And about 3:35 left in the second quarter. We'll see what Dak decides to do. He's under center, and they hike it and they hand it off for a first down. And there they go. They keep the chains moving. And it's been an interesting game so far. For the running back, 9 rushes, 38 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So Dallas is definitely trying to keep it on the ground here. Champ, any other thoughts on this one before we switch gears?
Yeah, so one of the things they showed after the last commercial break, when they came back from the last commercial break, was they lost 10 players from that Super Bowl winning defense this season. A couple of them, like one of them to retirement, who was actually a president there. One of them, Darius Slay, they released him and he went off to Pittsburgh. And so they lost 10 players, and now their defense is actually quite young. The average age is 24.9, so almost 25 years of age is the average age for that defense. So it's a very young defense that are going to have this very big weight on their shoulders because of the fact, remember, Philly had the top rated defense last season, which led them to that Super Bowl. So the expectations are high for that unit. We know what the offense is capable of with Jalen Hurts back there, Saquon. Oh, that's an incomplete pass. That's an incomplete pass. I thought that was an interception.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a pick too. Yeah.
But we know what the offense is capable of with Jalen Hurts back there, Saquon, and then the wide receiving core. We know what they're capable of and everything like that. But the defense is going to have eyes on them because they're expected to duplicate what they were able to do last season, which got them the Lombardi Trophy. And so far, they've been fine, but they have given up 14 points on 2 rushing touchdowns. So the rush defense is definitely going to be a focal point, though it is only the game 1. Come back to me in like 4 or 5 weeks. I can tell you more, but right now it is what it is.
Ooh, a lot of hand checking. No penalty called, though. I like it. Let him play. 4th down. Philly bends but doesn't break here. And let's check it out here. Hand checking. Ooh, he's got his hands up there. Ooh, it's close to pushing him out. I think it's uncatchable, though. Let's see. Yeah, it's uncatchable, which works against him. I felt like if he had kept that in bounds, they probably would have had to call that. But I got we're trying here for the 41-yard field goal attempt, and it is up, and it is good. And Dallas takes a 17-14 lead, 2:34 until halftime. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. That was a big stop, though, by Philly and their defense to show that they can stop them in the red zone for sure. Champ, real quick, I know we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but it's been a tough summer for DC sports fans. You know, we got DC United at the bottom. The Mystics had an opportunity to make a run to try to squeak into the playoffs. They fell short. The Nationals have been doing fairly terribly, including a game that I went to that we talked a little bit in our pop-up show that Champ and I did a couple weeks ago. That wasn't very good. The Orioles have looked pretty bad this year as well. Yeah, it's been a pretty rough summer for DC sports, so I'm kind of happy we took a break this summer. Champ, any of your thoughts overall on the summer of suck for DC?
I would have been a miserable prick on this podcast if we'd have been doing it through the summer with how these teams have been playing. DC United has been a big disappointment. Every game they play, they seem to be a big disappointment. Mystics, they started off so promising. They had Brittany Sykes. They had the 2 draft picks. And they were looking promising. Then they turned around and traded Brittany over to Seattle, and they sucked ever since. Granted, the 2 draft picks, Sonia Citron and Kiki Irfan, have been absolutely terrific this season. I think they have bright futures with this team. I think they're going to be really strong for this team. But you let go of your leading scorer in like early on in the season, and it just showed how much she meant to this team. Nationals, I mean, it got so bad they fired Davey Martinez and they fired Rizzo, and they still suck. The pitching has been inconsistent. Mackenzie Gore, who's supposed to be their ace, has one of the worst records not just on his team, but I think in baseball, period. The dude, you never know. It's like Jekyll and Hyde with Mackenzie Gore. You don't know which Mackenzie Gore you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the Mackenzie Gore is going to go out and strike out 7+ and really lock down an offense, or you're going to get the Mackenzie Gore that's going to give up 15 million hits and 10 million runs and only go 3 innings. You don't know what Mackenzie Gore you're going to get, and I hate that in a pitcher. I hate that in a pitcher that you don't know what type of player you're going to get when they start. Jake Irving, all the pitchers been in. Jake Irvin, Mitchell Parker. They brought back Brad Lord into the starting rotation after he came back from injury, and he's been up and down. Offensively has been inconsistent. Yeah, they worked on hitting more home runs in the offseason, but it's kind of hard to want to sit out there and hit home runs all day long if your pitching goes out there and doesn't keep runs off the board. That's the problem that I've had with the Nationals. But yeah, the DC summer has been absolutely atrocious. I'm so glad that the Commanders are coming back, because that's been the positive, though. With the Commanders coming back, it also means that the Caps are coming back, who are also a very good team. But that also means that the Wizards come back, which means we could have the fall, and the winter suck. When the Wizards come back, though, the Capitals will give us all a lot of hope and a lot of promise for winter. That will be at least something to look forward to here in DC, and then it'll get us to spring, where the defending XFL and defending UFL champs will start their season off, and we can be happy about that.
Yep, actually, that's the graphic I put up, because I was like, everything suck was making me depressed. Let me put the champions graphic back up.
Yeah.
And remind ourselves that they crushed it, and what an incredible playoff run for them. And we'll definitely be doing some championship merch for them as we continue here on season 10. It's going to be interesting. Champ, I know that we don't have Tim here tonight, but what were some of your thoughts on the Ravens and their off season, and where do you see them? I know that their division is really interesting, especially with the Browns and the quarterback situation, and Cincinnati, can be up and down, and then Pittsburgh, getting the old man quarterback, giving him one last chance. What are your thoughts on the Ravens in that division?
I think that regardless of the situation, the AFC North, just like the NFC East, plays each other extremely tough. Pittsburgh, I think, is going to be interesting because they traded away George Pickens to Dallas, and they got Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic there in terms of offense. Though we know that Pittsburgh always brings the best defense in football. They're steel curtain for a reason. So that's going to be what's going to be their saving grace to make them competitive this year. Cleveland is definitely a weird monster because they drafted 2 quarterbacks in the draft, so they end up having 4 in their quarterback room, but they're only carrying 3. And old man Flacco. So this division is going to have 2 teams that are going to have quarterbacks that are in their 30s or their 40s, right? You got Flacco with Cleveland, you got Rodgers with Pittsburgh. Joe Burrow is going to be Joe Burrow. He's got his 2 top receivers in Higgins and Chase, who signed new contracts, and their defense should be fine. And then, so I think Baltimore definitely is going to have a chance to compete. Their offense is going to be fairly strong with Lamar Jackson, who's been an MVP winner and an MVP candidate, as well as having Derrick Henry back there. Yeah, he's a lot closer to the end of his career than he was to the beginning of it, but the man still runs hard and still can make defenses look very silly running the football. And I think they have some playmakers on the outside at receiver. I think Baltimore is going to be just fine, being able to compete and be in the hunt in their division and whatnot. Their schedule shouldn't be too difficult because, yes, they were a playoff team last year, but they didn't go that far in the playoffs, so their schedule shouldn't be overly difficult like other teams who've gotten further in the playoffs. So I think that they'll be just fine, honestly. But again, football's not played on paper; it's played on the field. And so once it's on the field, then you will know where the Ravens sit when it comes to this season.
Sith, I wanted to get your thoughts on Baltimore, and then I also want to get a couple other questions I had about this Dallas Philly first half here as well. Sith, what are your thoughts on the Ravens to start?
Ravens are going to be just fine as champs. The basket case in the AFC North, in my view, is easily Cleveland with what they've done over there. And this has to deal with the fact that they've got 4 quarterbacks, so they'll be keeping 3, one will be jettisoned to the practice squad. And you've got Flacco there, just like you've got Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh. So it's a big hanging question mark. Can these guys stay healthy? If they cannot stay healthy, oh, beautiful pass play there by the Oh,
That was really nice.
that was
huge.
huge.
25-yard line, and Hurts is in business here. 138.
By the way, that was former Washington Commander Jahan Dotson on the deep post route, making the catch. Big play for Philly.
Yeah,
I don't love that. Anyway,
my thoughts on the Nats this year. They have joined the Wizards in being my sleep aid. And I have a really bad night of insomnia, and I can't go to sleep. And put on the Nats replay, and usually get back to sleep pretty quickly. And that's sad because I'm a big baseball fan. I was raised on baseball. And the thing that hurts the most about the Nats is this is their last contractual year on Masson. So now they're going to be able to negotiate their media rights for whoever wants their media rights. And I'm hoping that Monumental Sportsnet picks them up where they can redo something with Masson. But the way they're playing this year has been abysmal. It's been bad. The bullpen extremely inconsistent. I would rather have Champ and I coming out of the bullpen every night for the Nats to try to clean shit up. We would clean house.
I wasn't going to talk about the bullpen sip because it was self-explanatory, but thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah. You and I could run the fucking bullpen forever.
Yeah.
We could run it.
My right shoulder's in constant pain. I could probably go out there and do better than that bullpen. Jesus Christ.
We got a big third down here in this live game, and just to switch gears back to it, I wanted to ask because I missed it. Sith, can you explain the spitting situation earlier?
Okay, what happened was you had the opening kickoff, right? Then you had a little bit of a tussle between the teams, a little trash talk, and then Jalen Carter, I think that's the guy's name, decided, I'm going to be an idiot. I'm going to spit at Dak Prescott. And the dude got tossed.
Yeah, so what happened was, Sif is kind of giving the baseline story. It was after the kickoff, after the scrum, Dallas was in their huddle. They haven't even run a play yet. The only play that had been running in this game was a kickoff. And by the way, a Philly player, while getting blocked, had a somewhat non-contact injury, probably a torn Achilles. They're probably done for the season. But then Jalen Carter decides he's going to walk his happy ass up to the huddle, get in Dak Prescott's face, and then spit in his face. And the referee is standing right next to him on his right, sees it, and just goes, flag, and said, yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct, homie is disqualified. They haven't even run a play yet. Haven't even done anything defensively yet. And your best defensive player from your Super Bowl winning team is now out of the game. How embarrassing is that?
All right, we got a 2nd and 5 here as we got running into a sound man on the sideline, trying to make it look like a guy did extracurriculars, but I think it was a good non-call. 2nd and 5, 56 seconds left here in the first half. And
Saquon!
Oh, no.
I have him on my fantasy team. Let's go!
Oh.
Hey, champ, do you want me to do the infamous quote, though, from History of Violence that we do on No Spots?
I guess.
How do you fuck that up? How do you fuck that up?
Yeah, the Giants ain't been the same since.
Yeah, I can't. It makes me so sad every time. Anyway, yeah, he just bull in a china shop, just barrels through some guys and gets right in there. And the Philly is an extra point away from taking a 4-point lead here with 51 seconds left here in the first half. Um, Dallas just has no answer on defense, and so I think it'll be interesting to see if anything changes in the second half, but it's not looking good. The extra point is in, and it is 21-17, 51 seconds left here. Saquon getting the touchdown. Good for Champ in your fantasy there.
By the way, Troy Evans said whatever we've been saying for the last couple minutes, talking about the DC Summer suck.
Yeah,
Nats suck. They
yeah,
do,
they
Troy.
do.
They absolutely suck.
They absolutely do.
Jesus Christ.
There are nights when Champ and I are doing those spots, and we both know each other well not to broach the subject of the Nats. We know better. Oh, cool.
Yes, I thought we could.
Robbie,
I like doing fancy things, so we're
Hold
gonna.
on, Robbie. Before we move on, though,
Okay,
I
all
have
right,
a question for you, and I have a question for Sith.
all right. Fair
How
sure.
enough.
do you both feel about the gimmick that is Red Zone going from 7 hours of commercial-free football to 7 hours with a 15-second ad 4 times within that 7 hours? Uh, Robbie, I want to start with you because you're the host here.
It's funny is I don't watch Red Zone. I don't watch. I don't even do the YouTube TV gimmick with the Sunday ticket, just because I have so much stuff to do with the kids that I'm lucky to get to watch the two games I care about every week. So it doesn't really bother me, but I can understand why it frustrates other people. I'll put it that way.
Sith, what about you?
On the fence. I don't like it because because I have it a part of my Xfinity package, and when the Commanders aren't playing, I'll watch Red Zone, and I like having that commercial-free experience every single week. The flip side of the coin is who's trying to get that next season? ESPN.
Mm.
You know, I don't like it, but am I going to boycott Red Zone? No, because on a day that the Commanders aren't playing, it's a good way for me to watch clips from the games, watch divisional stuff happen on the TV without a problem. Or if I feel up to going out to, say, Applebee's or something, watching the games there. So it does suck, but the flip side of the coin is I don't think you're going to lose a lot of viewers out of Red Zone because of it. This isn't a case of interrupting the game, mid game and then doing, you know, a major ad break. What I would hope they would do is do like a split screen where you could still have a little bit of coverage on one part of your screen and have some of it with ads so that way you can still watch the games. But we'll have to wait and see.
Only reason why I asked because someone else is part of the No Spots team, Sage, who does our New Japan stuff with me. I'm sure like he is unhappy because he has a gimmick on Facebook during the football season where he makes a status every Sunday at 1 p.m. on the dot that says 7 hours of commercial-free football starts now. And now he can't make that status because it's no longer commercial-free. You have ads that are going to be popping up, and they're 15-second ads that occur in a split screen, and the audio still, the audio plays through. It's not a full screen ad. It's a split screen ad and things like that. And they're only doing it 4 times within that 7 hour period. So, but a lot of people are up in arms because of the fact that red zone made its name being the place where people can go if there is, if their home team's not playing, they can go on there and watch almost every single football game they want, even if their home team is playing. They may have multiple TVs like Carol, and they may have that on and another game on along with their home team on. And that was the gimmick that really made people want to get NFL Sunday Ticket, to have that the NFL Sunday Ticket package to have Red Zone. That it was because of the commercial free gimmick, and now they're taking that away. I feel like this is going to be something that's going to possibly bite them in the ass, in my opinion. I think it's going to bite them in the ass, and it's gonna come back and not be a good move for them. But I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that. Let's go. We can move on, Robbie. I just want to get that out there.
I do want to mention right here a almost punch to the face of the mask of Prescott gives them a first down here. So talk about a potential crucial mistake. They're now on the 40-yard line, 34 seconds left. So we're going to stay here for the rest of this half, and then we'll do it at halftime just to see if Dallas is able to.
Dax looks like he's either changing the play or calling out hot routes or protection, something. He went up to the line and called something.
Yep, he did. It looks like he did just change the play call. It's an out route, and he does not get out of bounds. It was a terrible play. And
got to get out of bounds.
Yeah, Dallas has to burn their second timeout. That is crucial. That is why even run that play. If you're gonna run something, just run it inside. If you're gonna use the timeout anyway, so that's a big mistake.
Well, I think part of it was it might have been a bad play. The other part was sure tackling by the defender, getting him before he can get out of bounds. So I think that it's a combination of both on that one. They knew they had the recognition. They knew they were probably going to go for the sidelines to save a timeout in this 2-minute drill to close out the first half, and they just made sure they covered the sidelines and made sure that they had a short tackle on them on a situation like that. So credit Philly at least for recognizing that and making the play and not allowing the receiver to get out of bounds, forcing them to use a timeout.
And Troy Evans is asking, Champ, is that a Frankie Louvu jersey? It is a new Louvu jersey.
It is. It just came in today. I ordered it earlier on this week, and I was expecting it to be here tomorrow, but it got here today. So I have that. And then as I was telling Robbie before we got started, I also pre-ordered the JD5 and Scary Terry alternate throwback jerseys, which go for $140 a pop. I pre-ordered those. Those are expected to ship out next month. So later on in the season, when we do this, you will most likely see me in one of those two jerseys, or you'll see me in both of those jerseys most likely when the season gets up and going and stuff like that. Once I receive them, but they look like some beautiful jerseys. I was like, you know what? I'm definitely going to cop these and whatnot, because I've been desperately needing to add jerseys and merch that have Commanders on them, because I still have merch and jerseys that have Redskins on them. So I needed some Commander stuff, and I finally got it.
I actually also need some Commander stuff, I'll be honest. You can see over here, we got all the different helmets of all the different eras gone by. Another bad play by Dallas there, not calling a timeout quicker. Oh, they were nice. They actually gave them the time back on the clock, and so they did call it, because they were trying to get up to the line and spike it, and they just couldn't do it quick enough. But they said they actually called the timeout a little bit before, but still, they have no timeouts remaining. 15 seconds here. They got to be careful. No sack or they might be out of it here.
Philly just called the timeout as well, so they're trying to figure something out. By the way, not only do we have this game going on, the Mystics played tonight, and guess what? They lost 75-69 to the Phoenix Mercury.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah. And so, interesting thing tomorrow, there's a football game for people that don't know. They're doing a Friday football in Brazil as you have the Chiefs playing the Chargers, I think it is. So that'll be an interesting matchup. Another crazy play here. Oh, did they jump off sides? No, they just spiked it. They almost got Philly. That would have been something they could have gotten 5 more yards out of that.
That was a nice play though. Looked like a deep slant route just to get it past the first down marker. So they had the opportunity to spike and get Aubrey out there for this field goal. This looks like it's going to be a
53 yards.
53-yard field goal to at least cut the deficit to 1 going into halftime, and Philly gets the ball back, gets the ball to start the second half. So they'll be able to take advantage. Even if Aubrey makes this, they'll be able to try to extend the lead at the start of the second half and stuff like that. But very, very, this has been an offensive explosion in the first half of this game, the very first game of the new season.
Yeah, and we got the little ice of the kicker, and so now Philly's down to their last timeout. Now they're needed. We got 3 seconds left here. 53-yard field goal attempt. They do it for the right hash mark, right?
You snap the kick, and it's good.
Oh wow!
Beautiful. Brandon Aubrey, one of the things Brandon Aubrey was about, especially last season, is making those kicks from 50 plus. I think he was in the top. He was tops in the league in making field goals from 50 plus. So that's almost like a gimme for him.
Wow, that's a good turnover turn. It's would have been good from 55. It was a nice kick.
And rest assured, people, my quick take on Dexter Resurrection tomorrow morning on TikTok will be spoiler free because I know that it's not going to hit Showtime proper on cable until Sunday night.
That's that makes sense. All right, I think we. Troy also said I'm going to wear my JD5 jersey on Sunday, which sounds like a good plan. All right,
Yeah, I
I'm
can't
going
wait for my JD5 jersey to come in a month.
Nice. All right, so actually, I like the look of this screen. I was going to originally do it in a different screen, but let me. I wanted to see the difference.
Wow, Sunday Night Football celebrates 20. Sunday Night Football on NBC has been on NBC 20 years.
Wow. I think this is. I made it a little bit bigger. It's a little easier to read. So we'll do it on this screen over here. We know what we're talking about with the Commanders. All right. So the first game against the Giants, I'm going to have it as a win. Although the Giants always play us tough, but the fact that I feel like we do a lot better in Washington against them. I feel like if this was in New York, I probably wouldn't have picked a win and maybe an upset there. Sith and Champ, what are your thoughts on this home opener?
Sith, you start.
Giants always play as hard, but I've got us winning this game. I think that playing at home and the fans are going to be there. And honestly, I think the stadium is going to feel more like a home game. I think that we're going to have more Commanders fans in the stadium as opposed to Giants fans. And I think it's going to be a tough game, but I think we win.
Champ, what are your thoughts?
So I think one of the things that's going to be a key here is the defense and the run and the run defense. Giants don't really have a game-changing running back, and they have Russell Wilson as a starting quarterback. So I think that if the defense, if Joe Witt can get them that defense to pin their ears back and go after Russell Wilson, they're going to be fine. They're going to be able to do some things offensively. Scary Terry and Debo. The Giants defense are definitely going to have to try to scheme for a way to try to stop both of them while dealing with Noah Brown and Zach Ertz. And then Eckler, who is not only a very competent running back, but also a great pass catcher. The offense is going to be something that's going to definitely keep the Giants from getting a win to start the season. I also picked this as a win because I think everything is going to come together here, and the league is going to see right off the top why this team went 12-5 last season and why they could possibly go a little bit better. A little bit better this season.
Yeah. Troy was saying, I hope that Von Miller does good this year. And he said that he heard the game is sold out. Can anyone confirm this? I bet it is sold out. I haven't heard one way or another, but it wouldn't surprise me. Home openers in the past have sold out, and with somebody like JD5 and um, you know behind center, I definitely think it's a rivalry game. So a lot of Giants fans will be there too. I haven't heard one way or another. Champ, have you heard if it's sold out?
I have not, but if they say it's sold out, I believe it wholeheartedly because of the fact that it is the first game of the season after a season in which the team made it to the NFC Championship game. Expectations are high. We have a quarterback that brings excitement to the team. You have Scary Terry, who they locked in for another 3 years at 96 million, along with Debo Samuel. You got like there's so many factors here that I'm not surprised that it's being reported as a sellout. Everybody wants to see this team in person and everything like that. And then, of course, during the off season, the DC Council did approve the plan for RFK, meaning that the team can move forward with beginning to build that new stadium that they want to build on the site of RFK Stadium. I've driven past there so many times doing Lyft, and I'm so excited to see what it's going to look like in about 5 or 6 years when that brand new stadium goes up.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm super excited to see what they're able to do with the RFK site. And I did a little quick research, and the AI said that it's almost sold out. There are still some secondary tickets, obviously available, as there always are for these sort of things. But I'm sure it'll be a sellout by the time the game starts. All right, let's talk about. So they go right away from the Giants to the Packers, where it's a short week, and they have to go to the Packers. And now they've got a new big time defender on their team. This is again 8:15 on Thursday. I have this as a loss, just on the short week, and Parsons wanting to show up a former division rival. Sith, what are your thoughts on going into Lambeau Field?
Read about this game a little bit because the Packers, I think, are going to probably take the the North this year.
Yep.
Excuse me. I think that it's going to be a very, very tough game, and they're really giving us a tough game out the stretch. At Lambeau. Right now, I think I gave us a loss for this one. We'll be 1-1 coming out of this one on a short week, but it will also show the durability because if we do somehow pull off the shocker in Lambeau, it's going to bring a lot of eyes to the game, so a lot of eyes to our team. So let's see what happens. Got it as a loss, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Champ.
I also have this as a loss, short week traveling to Lambeau, uh, dealing with Micah Parsons, who is someone we have dealt with. I'm sure that Micah will be on the right side, which is on the side of the rookie Josh Connolly. This will be his first real test of his rookie season, having to go up against Micah, and they may move him around and have him either deal with Josh Connolly or deal with Laremy Tunsil on the left side. But either way, I do have this as a loss as well. We typically don't play as well in Lambeau as we do in other stadiums. And then again, coming on a short week, it's going to be very, very difficult to come out with a W. Though I would be pleasantly surprised if they do come out with the W. Jordan Love's going to be fully healthy. One of his receivers is actually dealing with a foot fracture that he's going to actually play through, that being Jalen Reed. And so our secondary should be able to key in on that and be able to lock him down because he's not going to have that speed and that maneuverability when you have a foot injury like that. But I still have this as a loss for the Commanders.
Yeah. The on the bounce back of that, since it's a Thursday game, they'll have an extra amount of time for the next home game versus the Raiders, and so I think that we'll take that to our advantage. And some news coming out today that the Raiders actually lost a wide receiver to retirement. Champ, did you see that?
I did. Amari Cooper announced just right before their first game of the season, a couple weeks after he was re-signed. He signed with the Raiders after being, I guess he was traded away from Buffalo. He signed with the Raiders for 1 year, and then 2 weeks after he signed, he said, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to just go ahead and retire. But he is retiring with the very team that drafted him back 10 years ago. And so, yeah, they did lose him to retirement. But I think that the Raiders, that's going to be a very tough game because Geno Smith, people don't realize Geno Smith has had a career resurgence since his time in Seattle. So he actually is someone to be reckoned with. And then you have guys like Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers, who are two very good pass catchers. So that's going to definitely be a challenge for this defense to deal with. I did pick this as a win, but it's definitely going to be a hard fought win. It's not going to be an easy win for this team with the weapons that the Raiders do have, despite losing Amari Cooper to retirement, literally right like days before their first regular season game.
That's so brutal to have to lose a player like that, though. I feel like if you're gonna make that announcement, you should definitely do it earlier, like just so they can figure out with wide receivers in the room. You got to hope that they've got somebody in the practice squad that can jump up there. But Sith, what are some of your thoughts?
Love you, Sage. I'm sorry. Raiders are losing. We're going to win. It's going to be a tough game. The Raiders are never known for being a team that isn't tough to play. They are a tough team to play. It's going to be one that is an early game for us to make a statement about, especially if we don't lose by much in Lambeau. We come back and beat the Raiders. That would bring us to 2-1 going through as things push forward. So, yeah, I've got us winning. It's going to be closer than people think. This is going to be what I'm going to be calling during this segment a Vegas stealing game. Well, what they're going to do is they are going to tell people at the end of the day in Vegas, we're going to make this look like it's a ball busting win or a loss. And Vegas is going to recoup the revenue because they're going to, I think, have an obscene amount of points that isn't feasible. People who bet on that game are going to lose money regardless because I don't think either team can cover the spread in a win, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's interesting. The schedule this year, when you look at it, like, when you zoom out, there's a lot of these two road games in a row situations that we've got going. You'll see this Atlanta Chargers one later on, Dallas, Kansas City, Minnesota, New York Giants back to back. There are also a couple back to back home games thrown in there. And it'll be interesting. There's also one of the road games at Miami is really in Spain, right? So it's not in Miami at all. So it'll be interesting to see how that game shakes out as we keep on going forward. But let's talk about this first sort of major road swing that we're going to have. I mean, yes, we have the game at Lambeau Field, but we got to go to Atlanta and then to the Chargers on back-to-back weeks. And I honestly think that this is a situation where we're going to beat the Raiders and we come back, and then the Falcons are a worse team than the Raiders in some ways, but I still see us a potential trap game right here, and then a potential trap game going to LA Chargers as well. So I could see us losing both of those games. But I'm going to let Sith give your thoughts on it, and then Champ your thoughts on both games, and I'm going to fill my water while you guys do that.
Put a joke on the Falcons. Some of their fans have never recovered from the trade of Brett Favre because they still can't wrap their minds around the fact that Favre even admits he was a complete fuck up when he was in Atlanta when he got drafted. He didn't give a shit. He only gave a shit once he went to Green Bay and whatnot, and that's where he took off. Now, back to current day, I think we'll win against the Falcons. I think the trap game is going to be the Chargers because everyone's thinking that, we usually don't do well in West Coast games. This could be a trap game for the Chargers because Washington on the West Coast usually doesn't work out all too well. If we come out and beat the Chargers and beat the Falcons, that would be making a statement early. My only fear is that we have a late bye week. So, week by week, we have to stay healthy and no tar backups and reserves. You've got to get rested. You've got to make sure that you're healthy because it's going to be a case of next man up or being a bunch of injuries. But I think we win in Atlanta. Chargers, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose, but I think we could pull off a shocker and win both. Champ.
I think I picked us to beat Atlanta. We faced this very same Atlanta team literally last season on our way to the playoffs, and we were able to beat them. Granted, it was in overtime, so we know what Atlanta's capable of. But I think that this season, I think it's going to be a little bit of a different. It might be the same, a similar, very tight game, but I think that even in Atlanta, I think that Washington can pull it out and get the victory. The Chargers game, I think I picked it as a loss. I don't remember. Like I said, I was just picking, but I think I picked the Chargers one as a loss. The Chargers are a very talented team with Justin Herbert at quarterback. I think that that's going to be the one where they definitely have a letdown on the West Coast, playing at 4 p.m. on the East instead of 1 p.m. like they normally do. But I think that this stretch of road games, these two straight road games, is going to be a 1-1 thing for the Commanders. They win in Atlanta, but then they lose going out west.
Yeah, I can see that. I could definitely see us winning one of these games, but I'm trying to uh, do the sophomore slump bit and see if we can, see, maybe I'm wrong, the Bears one, I think we're going to win this one at home. It's a Monday night football game. It's a very weird month in the month of October where we have two Monday night football games. So we'll be live. Historically, it would be terrible luck when we started doing this podcast, when we did live watch alongs. The last couple of seasons, though, Champ, our live watch alongs have been much better. And I think this is going to be a case where we're going to play the Bears again. It's going to be tough because they're going to want to prove and get revenge, obviously, for the Hail Mary game. But I think this is an opportunity as our team to prove that, no, we deserve to win that one. And it's also in Washington. I'll start off with you, Sith. What are your thoughts on the rematch of the Hail Mary game?
Sent into the group chat that I belong with Tim and Champ and Arun and Robbie and also Carol. The clip from the game with the Halo Mary thing from Chicago. I mean, from the Chicago game last year at home when we had the Pat. You had these Bear fans going, "That's it, game's over. Yeah, we've got this." And then we get it, and they're just stunned silent. Monday night games, the last couple of years, they have not been our Achilles heel, thank God. And I think it's because of a difference of mentality. We've got a team that is more focused, more poised. So I think we're going to beat the Bears on that Monday night. It should be fun to live react with you guys on that one that night.
Yeah, it'll be really, that should be a lot of fun. Champ, what are some of your thoughts?
Clearly, this league wants to see the number 1 and number 2 overall picks from last year's draft go against each other yet again, because that's what we're getting here. Caleb Williams versus JD5, and it's going to be the same result as it was last year. Another victory for the Commanders, but I think that the Bears, it's going to be, again, this is going to be another game where it's going to be tight. It's not going to be a runaway. It's not going to be easy. We have one of the most difficult schedules on the calendar on the season in the league because of the fact that this team was an NFC Championship participant last season. So every game is going to be extremely difficult and extremely challenging. And this is definitely going to be one of them. Williams has had a year to actually, develop. he did develop while actually playing, so he has another year to be able to go out there and do what he needs to do. And I think that this is going to be another game that's going to be put in the folklore when it comes to these two players. And I think there's going to be a win for the Commanders.
Eagles fall forward for the first down here. We got 11-17 or so in the third quarter, just starting off here. Gives them a first down. Philly's up by 1 point if you're just tuning in with us. They're up 21-20 again as we get close to the 11-minute mark in this third quarter. In fact, the Cowboys, who they're playing right now, and we'll use this as a segue, it would be our next opponent. That'll be an away game at 4:25 on a Sunday. I think we do not do well in the Cowboys world, so I'm going to have that one as a loss. But Seth, what are your thoughts on that?
It's winning in Jerry world. Dallas is a decent team, but it's going to be a close game. But I wouldn't be surprised if we pull off a quick one and we lead with a close one, say 4 points over Dallas. And then we go back home and we're starting to feel pretty good after that game because, the next game's going to be difficult the following Monday night. That's going to be one where I'm like, oh, but at Dallas, I think we bet it up here.
What's your thoughts, Champ?
Yeah, I think I also picked this one as a victory as well, but I think it's going to be definitely a shootout. The way that this Dallas offense is looking in this game with Philly, it's definitely going to be a shootout. Defense is going to be not at a premium, but it's just going to depend on who can score last when it comes to this game. And, playing in Jerry's world, it's going to be loud. It's going to be boisterous. It's going to be very difficult. But I think the Commanders can pull out the victory in this one.
Big time sack here by the Cowboys over the Eagles, forcing a 3rd and 18 here. Got them all the way back to the 44-yard line. They throw it back, and they gain back 4 of those yards, and it looks like they're going to probably have to punt here because they're at the 40-yard line.
Yeah, check down to Dotson, and that was all they could do at that point with 3rd and a mile. And I'm pretty sure Dallas had the dime defense in, expecting the pass. A nice pass rush there by number 13, getting in on Jalen Hurts. If Jalen would have held on to that ball even a half second longer, that was going to be another sack, and then we was going to be seeing.
Holy moly, they're going for this field goal attempt here. What is
58 yards. Kick is up.
Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott can make it from that distance.
Wow, 58 in. We're gonna that extends their lead back to 4, 24-20 now, 8:30 left here. I thought that was too far to kick. I was wrong. It was we've got some guys hitting them from past 50 here in the opening game of the season, and it's an exciting game, even though we hate these teams for sure. The Chiefs, I think it's a Monday night. I think we do beat the Bear on Monday. I'm not going to bet that we're going to win 2 Monday nights in a row. So I have that as a loss. And then we got a Sunday night game after that. But I'll get Sith's takeaway on the at Chiefs on a Monday. What are your takeaway on them?
Dallas losing against KC. KC, even though they are definitely the team that people know you have to beat, we're not going to hang our heads low. It's not going to be a complete blowout, but it's a game that I've got us taking a loss in because realistically, Kansas City is a better team. Jam.
Yeah, I'm definitely calling a loss on this one. I mean, KC, I was telling somebody when I was driving Lyft, I said I remember when KC was one of the worst teams in the NFL, and now it's like no. Ever since Mahomes came in the league, KC just can't be stopped. Only very rarely that you could stop that team or even contain them. And I think granted, we did make some improvements on defense with the run game, and the defense on the backside with the secondary is very strong. And they went and drafted a cornerback. I just think that Patrick Mahomes is just a different breed of cat. And I think that that's going to be one. They're going to also, I believe, have Rashid Rice back from his suspension. So I think that that's going to be something that's going to really be difficult to deal with Rashid Rice and Hollywood Brown, with Isaiah Pacheco in the backfield, and of course Mahomes being the QB. I don't see them winning this one, but I would be pleasantly surprised if they go into KC, into hostile territory on Monday night and beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, for sure. Seahawks, I think this is the bounce back win that we needed. It's going to be a Sunday night game. It's crazy how many Sunday night games, Sunday morning games, Monday night games, Thursday night games. There's not a lot of 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon games this season when you compare it to last year. But I do think that it's a home night game. The spotlight's gonna be on us. I think that we bounce back from the Chiefs' loss with the Seahawks win. But Sith, what are your thoughts on these back-to-back primetime games?
Back-to-back prime time, but I've got us winning against Seattle. Seattle is not the team they were 10 years ago. It's rather funny to take a stamp shot of the Chiefs 10 years ago and the Seahawks 10, 15 years ago and look at them now. It is like a complete role reversal. The Seahawks, they are not going to be a team. It's a team that we can't afford to sleep on. None of these teams are teams you can sleep on. If anything's, I have this as a trap game. I've got us winning, but we can't go in home arrogant. We've got to treat them and treat this game like it's any other game or especially a divisional game. We need to get in there, clean house, and get a payback win, given the fact that we've lost to Kansas City the Monday before. So we're winning this one, Jam.
So the Commanders have the most primetime games of any team this season with 5. And this is going to be number 4 of 5 on the season. And I believe it's also going to be a bounce back win. You're back home. Seattle is a team that can be very tough. And everything like that. But I think that after the loss that they will most likely suffer against the Chiefs, they will definitely be looking for some payback, and they're going to get the bounce back victory over Seattle and move forward to what's next for them.
Yeah, I agree. This next one is really interesting. This Lions game, because it's a rematch of the playoff game, which no one expected the Commanders to win, and they did. And so I actually think this is going to be a loss because I think the Lions are going to want revenge for that. But Seth, how do you see this one?
Awesome. This is one when I filled out the document earlier that Robbie sent us in the group chat. I was like, ooh, the Lions are going to want payback because we beat them in the playoffs last year. But we, in kind, don't want to give up an L here. So this is going to be what I call a toss-up game. Right now, I've got us losing, but by the time we get to that game, it would not surprise me if we win that game. But right now, I've got us losing. Champ.
Again, I can't remember what I picked. I think I picked the victory for the Commanders. I think one of the differences in this game, as opposed to that NFC divisional round game last season, is that they'll have Aiden Hutchinson back in the lineup. Hutchinson was not in the game against that we played in Ford Field because of injury, but they'll have him back anchoring that defense. And also, you're going to have that two-headed monster at running back with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. And of course, Jared Goff is still one of the best quarterbacks of this generation. So it's not going to be an easy victory, but I think it's going to be a victory nonetheless for the Commanders on this one, especially because it's going to be a home game instead of a road game.
Yeah. I'm kind of happy with where they put the bye week because we're going to Spain against at the Dolphins, but it's in Spain, and then we'll have our bye week before the next one, so they give us a little bit of a break on the travel coming back from that. Um, Going to Spain and playing the Dolphins, we never get these international games. I actually think we're going to get a win with this one. I think that there's a lot of eyes on us, and I definitely think we could take advantage of a Dolphins team. And I kind of like that this is an away game that's not in Miami, so I think that it's going to be more neutral. And I think with all the hype with regards to JD5, there's going to be a lot of Commanders fans, I think, making this trip. Sith, what are some of your thoughts?
We're going to win. This is a game that when I saw it, I'm like, we have one of the best fan bases that's developing now where it comes to traveling to away games. I'm sure the Commanders will have a contention in Madrid that weekend to cheer them on. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this early on a Sunday morning. And then that night, hopefully, have my Commanders win thing on those spots if we're doing it that night. It depends on the PLE schedule and everything. But I've got us winning. It should be a really good game. Champ.
Yeah, I feel this is a win as well. The Dolphins, their only offensive weapons are Achan and at running back, Tyreek Hill and Waddle. If you stop those three, I think that you could definitely have a chance to beat them and be able to be successful. And I think that the Commanders are able to do so with hardly any issues. Though again, Tyreek Hill, we know how good Tyreek Hill can be. We know how good Waddle can be. If you're able to keep them in check, I think you win this one. I think they're able to do that. Commanders win.
Can you guys hear my cat? I'm just curious.
No.
No.
Good. He's howling.
Now I hear him.
Okay. We gonna play the Broncos on the flip side. Another late night game. And Champ, you say we have 5 scheduled primetime games. That's so far. There's a couple of to be determined time games. So it could be even more. But this is the quote unquote 5th one, and against the Broncos. And I have this as a win at home, especially coming back after 2 weeks off. Hopefully, we do better after the bye week than we used to do. Sith, what are some of your takeaways?
One of my best friends is a Broncos fan, and I've known her for a very long time. You go back to high school, and she lives right now in Las Vegas. And I see us winning this one. Love my friend dearly, but we're going to be coming off a bye week. We're going to be well rested, coming back healthy, even though it's Mile High Stadium and all. We're going to win. Jam.
It's in Washington.
Oh, in Washington, that's even better.
Yeah.
We'll take it home. Win.
Yeah.
I actually picked this as a loss. I feel like this is, like you mentioned one of these games earlier on, Robbie, as a trap game. I feel like this is more of a trap game for the Commanders than any of the other ones because Bo Nix was in the mix for Rookie of the Year last year. Ultimately won by Jaden Daniels, but Bo Nix was in the mix. And I love the fact that I rhymed that, but I think that even coming into Washington, Denver could turn around and win this one. Commanders coming off a bye. A lot of times, Commanders aren't as successful after a bye as other teams are, and I think that could be this could be a letdown loss for them, especially at prime time coming off a bye. I'm actually picking Denver on this one.
Yeah, and Denver's also coming off a bye as well. So that's an interesting thing. And they'll be playing Kansas City right before the bye, right? So, those are just some things to think about as you're heading in towards that one. We go to the Vikings. I don't know why I have a bad feeling about this one, but I just don't. I think if we win against the Broncos, we lose against the Vikings. If we lose against the Broncos, I think we win this game against the Vikings. Is kind of how I feel about this part of the schedule. Sith, what is your takeaway of going to the Vikings?
Minnesota is always a tough team to play, no matter what. and I've got us narrowly winning. This is a game that we cannot sleep on because Minnesota is going to be in that position where they're going to want to play sleeper. They want to be able to get the Commanders right before the Commanders have to get most of the rest of the season in division. And the Vikings are going to be like, yeah, they're coming into our house. We want to beat them. So I got us losing in Minnesota, but narrowly. We cannot sleep on this game. Champ.
I think I picked this one as a loss for the Commanders because I think that connection of JJ to Jay Jettas is going to be one that's going to be hard to stop, even with an all pro like Marshawn Lattimore, because you got to believe Marshawn Lattimore is most likely going to be the one that's going to be shadowing Justin Jefferson throughout this game, though they may try to find a way to scheme around it to get the rookie Trey Amos locked onto him or Mikey or Mike Sammerstill. I think this might be a loss for the Commanders, but as Sis alluded to, and I agree with, it's not. It's going to be definitely damn close.
Oh, what? This is a rough call. I guess that he is defenseless and he's going down and he hits the head, but man, is he trying to go for the football there and try to just jar it loose?
Damn, Blankenship, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah, I know. He blanketed him too closely, I guess. Yeah, so that's tough because it makes it first down right there at the well, it's a 15 yard, it's a half the distance, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it's
So,
half the distance, and
yeah.
it's an automatic first down.
Right, but at least it's not like a pass interference we get at the 1 yard line. So they'll have it at the 11 yard line. There's a chance for them to get another first down at the one. Yeah. So,
By the way, while we were talking, Dallas got down here after a very big run play, and I think we just got a fumble.
Oh.
We're going to maybe necessary roughness. Fumble-aya.
Oh, wow. Yep, and he, yeah.
Ooh, that's painful. They were driving, and they give up the ball, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm just seeing here in the replay is it? Yep, it's out before the knee is down, and there's a clear recovery there. All right, the at Giants. You know, I usually am scared about the games in New York, but for some reason,
I'm sorry. That's Selly. They did the brotherly shove Selly. That was fucking hilarious.
that is funny. I did see that. I think we win this one in New York, though, at the end of this season, because I don't know if the Giants will have a lot to play for. But Seth, what are your thoughts?
I think we win in New York. I think we sweep the G-Men this year. They are both New York teams have a common thing this year. They are not good teams. And honestly, I think at the top you'll have the Eagles and the Commanders fighting it out for first. Then all alone in third will be Dallas, and then dead last again, the Giants. We win in New York. Champ.
Yeah, this is going to be the year we sweep the Giants. Usually, when we go to MetLife, it's a tough game, and usually it's a loss. But I think this is going to be a different team, and this is going to be a different result. It's going to be a win for the Commanders as they continue to push forward in their push to try to get back into the playoffs.
The back end of this to try to get back to the playoffs, they have to play divisional opponents the last 4 weeks of the season. So you got this Giants game, then you got the Eagles at home, which is the first time you're playing the Eagles all season. You're playing them with 3 games remaining. Then you play against Dallas. That's a Christmas game in Washington, which is interesting. And then you have to go to Philly, an away game that's a to be determined start time. Could be for the division Sunday Night Football, so it could be flexed easily. That Eagles game on the Saturday also, the first one is also time to be determined. The Christmas one, they do know it's going to be a 1 o'clock game on a Thursday during during Christmas, which will be crazy. I'll be watching that game down in Grand Cayman, which will be nuts. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough last 4 weeks for us. But let's talk about this Eagles home time to be determined Saturday game. And I think we're gonna get the win here because we need to win these two because the last two are gonna be really tough ones. Sith, what are your takeaways on the home one against the Eagles?
Like this. If we win at home, we'll lose at the link. If we lose at FedEx, we'll win at the link. Because I think that we're going to split the games with the Eagles this season. The Eagles are still the team, along with the Commanders, to beat in this division. We're going to be the two teams that are angling for division. And I think whoever finishes second will still be in the wild card hunt where it comes to the season. I've got us winning at home against the Eagles and FedEx, and I have a funny feeling this could be either a 4:25 game or an 8:30 game at night on that Saturday. Anything is possible, but wow, that's going to be huge, champ.
I feel like this could be a loss for the Commanders at home. I mean, the Eagles look like they're just like offensively still have a lot of their pieces from last season. Again, defensively, we talked about as we watched this live game is they lost 10 pieces from their Super Bowl winning defense last season. So it'll be interesting to see defensively how they're going to be able to match up against this offense. But I think that offensively, that's going to be what's going to get them through. So I'm going to give this the edge to the Eagles, but just barely.
Yeah. This next one, I think we're going to get a Christmas miracle and get a win over the Cowboys at home. Because I think it's going to set up where we have to win that game to have a chance the last week of the season for the division, right? So I think if it sets up that way where we need that win, I think that we get it. Seth, what are your takeaway on Christmas?
And this is breaking. We're under a weather delay in Philadelphia due to a severe thunderstorm warning. So, yeah, so the players are right now going to their respective locker rooms right now. Hopefully the power stays on and whatnot over at the link. We had a warning here earlier this evening. We had a nice little rain shower, but other than that,
Hey, Robbie, I got to switch to my phone because Jess's plane just landed, so I got to leave. But I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
I think we're going to get a Christmas miracle. I think we're going to beat Dallas that night, though. That's going to be fun, you know.
Yeah, I can't believe we get a Christmas game. It's like we don't get a Thanksgiving game this year, but in some ways, I think this is better. A Thursday Christmas game. That's gonna be it's gonna be wild, and I love that we've got an international satellite internet TV, and so we get to watch it on the big screen there. So that'll be really fun with my whole family getting to watch that. I'm hoping that it is a late night game, and then that way I can maybe do like an early dinner with the family before, and then I get to watch that into the evening. I will be scuba diving the next morning, so I won't be getting too wasted during it. But it should be a lot of fun for sure. And then we'll preview this Eagles one, and then when Champ gets back in, I'll ask him about both of these games. I think it's going to be a loss in Philadelphia. I think that I agree with you that if somehow we lose the home game, I think we could win this one. I also could see us losing both of them. But this is going to be a tough one with the defending champs. What are your takeaways, Seth, on playing them twice in the last 3 weeks here?
Going to be exceedingly difficult. I think that we win at FedEx, but we lose in a close one at the link. But I still think we end up in the postseason, though. I think I've got us going 12-5 this year. I don't think there's going to be a slump this year, but under any other coaching staff, quarterback ownership, I would say, yeah, we're going to be under a sophomore slump. But this year, I'm a little bit more optimistic this year because of the fact that the mentality and the culture is changing in DC for the better where it comes to the team. And they're not buying into this idea that there has to be an off year. It wouldn't surprise me if we finish 11-6 or 12-5. But I think it's between us and Philly for division. Dallas in third, Giants is dead last. They're completely fucked.
Yeah. So just in seeing what we've come up with so far, this gives a 9-8 with what we picked for today.
Okay.
So it would be a little bit of a sophomore slump, but they could potentially still make the playoffs as a wild card team with 9-8. I think So, but it'll be interesting if they need to get that last win against Philly to get that 10th win to try to make the playoffs and see where Philly is at that point as well. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I guess we can get a sneak peek a little bit about what some of the other. Let me see if I can switch to this screen. Oh no, it's not. But I was just seeing where some of the other people have that last. The only person so far who's got us winning that last one is, I think it's you and Champ actually have us winning that at the Eagles one, but you guys both have us losing the one at home. So I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, getting a little sneak peek. I decided that I'm not going to actually show it on the screen. We'll wait, and then I will tally up everybody's scores, and we'll post it leading into the game. So I usually tally it up all on Saturday, make our graphic that we do every year, and then we can. You'll see it right before kickoff, and people can join the pick'em. And even if you did miss putting into the pick'em for this week, you could still sign up on SportsOTHP's Facebook page. You can click in, and yeah, you'll miss this Eagles Cowboys pick, but you can still pick the rest of the week and join us, even if you're one game behind. It's still a lot of fun to pick against us all year long, and it's I really enjoy doing it and seeing where all of us are at the end of the season, and so it'll be interesting to see. I know that Champ is driving, so I don't know if he'll get back on. I may see if let's see if I can send him this link. But it's fine. I mean, we can also we may just wrap it up here as well. I'm gonna stop the screen share and switch back to our main camera over here. Oh, there he is. All right, we got Champ. All right, Champ. You had us winning in Philly. You have us winning in. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
And so we have you thinking that we're going to beat Philly at home, and then we've got Dallas for this Christmas Day game. What is your thoughts on Dallas? Or could be Christmas evening. Oh no, wait. That game that game the Dallas one on Christmas is always going to be 1 p.m. That's not a to be determined one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Philly beats it, has the edge on us in that first game of that stretch. But I think we beat Dallas at home on Christmas because again, it's going to be a very tight. I believe it's going to be a very tight division. But I think that in the end, I think we beat Dallas and sweep Dallas.
And then Philly, going to Philly at the end of the season with potentially the playoffs on the line.
I'm really torn on this one because again, I feel like Philly will have the edge on us at home. In the last season we played Philly in Philly, they absolutely ran us out of the gym. I don't think it's going to be a similar situation. I think that we sweep the Giants, we sweep the Cowboys,
and I think we go 1-1 against Eagles. I think we beat them in Philly.
Nice, nice. And so Sith and I, while you were out, tallied it up, and my accounting has us at 9-8. So a bit of a sophomore slump, but potentially still maybe making the playoffs. That's 9-8, assuming that we're losing in Philly, but potentially maybe 10-7 makes the playoffs, and so maybe that pushes the needle in that final game a little bit. So be interesting to see where they end up on that. But I was announcing earlier that we will I'll tally everybody's picks, and if anybody wants to do picks this year and wants to get in on this, you can definitely message me on Facebook, and I can send you guys over the link. People can join us, and then I will make the graphic that we will post right before kickoff on Sunday before the game. And then next week, we got Sith and Champ back with us, and I think maybe Tim and a couple other people, maybe Arun will be back as well, as we'll recap week 1 of the NFL season. Again, this third quarter is in a weather delay, this Eagles Cowboys game, so we're probably going to rate out here in a moment. But I do want to give Sith and Champ an opportunity to talk about what's on the No Spots podcast this week. And so this week is $299, and then the following week is $300, right, Champ?
Correct. $299 this week. And with $299, we are going to be talking about Clash in Paris, which was last weekend. Me and Sip did the live reaction to that, so we're going to be recapping that and all of that good stuff, and then all the fallout from this week with the Clash in Paris. It's Thursday, so we're going to be talking, like right now, Impact is going on right now. It's a live episode of Impact. Well, it's already done. So we're going to talk about all of that this week on $299 of the No Spots Weekly Wrestling Podcast with myself and the Sith, plus any news that happened this week, including Rampage Jackson calling his son a piece of shit.
Oh, you're breaking up. Hold on, Champ. What was Rampage Jackson, and then you cut off? Oh. Seth, do you hear him?
No, I don't.
Okay. All right, Champ. It's a little bit muffled, but I'm sure that we'll talk about Rampage Jackson. Try one more time.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
It was this. I put this down because I'm thinking it was coming through somewhere else, but it was coming through this, so that's what it was. But yeah, we got a lot. We're gonna have a lot to talk about this weekend on No Spot. So make sure y'all tune in. We're on Kick, we're on Twitch, and we're on Facebook.
Nice. And if you missed the top of the show, we're gonna revamp and do a whole new OBS and new setup, and with new bells and whistles and some fun graphics and interactive stuff. And Champ and I are going to build that out next week, and then have it for the 300th episode. New look and new feel. We'll call it No Spots 2.0. And I'm excited. And Sith, let people know what's happening in the basement this week.
Basement this Sunday, I am starting a 10-week countdown series. Anna's going to love this. 80s on 8 on Sirius XM has a specialty station that's called the 80s on 8 Top 500 Countdown. And what it is it's based off the Billboard charts of the top 500 songs of the 80s. So what I'm doing the next 10 weeks is in 50 song sets, worst to best. And as I was writing this all out, I was like, there are a handful of songs I don't like, but I'd say a bulk of them I either appreciate more than I enjoy, I really like, or I absolutely love. So that's going to be a lot of fun. That's going to take us into November with that countdown series. On TikTok tomorrow, at TruceofDan74, I will let you guys know my quick thoughts on Dexter Resurrection, But I can tell y'all that where I thought I was going to have it ranked, they have slid down a bit because of the ending of the episode that aired this past weekend. The ending, I was like, oh shit, is this going to be like Dexter New Blood? And I'm going to end up with eerie silence when I watch the finale. So I'm going to watch it in the morning, let you guys know on TikTok what I think about it and all. Should be a lot of fun. And Champ, if I'm not mistaken, are we also doing for Death Before Dishonor as well from ROH 3x3 on Sunday?
Yeah, we are recapping Death Before Dishonor. I need to finish watching it. But we will do a recap of ROH's Death Before Dishonor, which happened this last Friday, couple days before Clash in Paris. That was a really good pay-per-view from what I've seen so far. So we're going to talk about that along with Clash in Paris and everything else this coming weekend, this Sunday.
Amazing. Well, thank you guys both for joining. It's been fun to break down the entire season, and it'll be fun to see how things turn out. Next week, we will return to our normal show time, Monday nights at 9-ish, and it will we'll have other guests join us, and we'll talk football for the next couple of weeks, and then in October, we'll bring our hockey team back as well. And who knows, this might be Ovechkin's last season. It's the last season of his current contract. He is gunning for 900 goals this season. He's only just a couple away from 900. He's already broken the record for most. Now he's also trying to go for the most combined in regular season and postseason. So all these goals will count towards that as well. So it'll be fun to have covered the last sort of 10 seasons of his career and see where it goes from there. We will also talk Wizards and talk some other stuff as well. We'll also, even though the Nationals and the Orioles won't be in it, we will also still talk about the baseball playoffs and give updates on that as well. So lots of fun and exciting things over the next couple of weeks. And thank you, Prestige and Tina, for joining in here on our Twitch chat. Thank you, Troy, for joining us over on Facebook, and thank you everyone for watching on YouTube as well. We are going to again, this is stopped this game with 3:44 left in the in the third quarter. So still a close football game. We will be monitoring that as well. I think we are going to raid a friend, Issa Sings. She is an awesome musician and friend, and so we're letting it make a custom a message that you can copy from that. I'm going to send the raid over. Thank you, Champ. Definitely go check out the No Spots podcast and all of the fun stuff that they're doing over there. I'm so excited for the rebrand that's coming soon. Sith, thank you as always. It's cool that 10 seasons later we're still making picks. So I really enjoy you being on as well. We'll have them both back again Monday, 9 o'clock, episode 2 of season 10 fall. That'll be episode 381. Again, we're on our 20 episode countdown to 400. Thank you everyone for tuning in, making tonight special. Thank you for the subs and the resubs and the bits and all that sort of stuff. Thank you for all the followers. We've got a Pokemon Live in chat right as we're rating, and so definitely go grab one of these raid calls, and I'm gonna grab this one. And thank you again, Champ and Sith. We'll see you guys later. With that, I'm going to get us out of here.
Great. Take care, everyone.